Just in case it's not top of mind, consider this your reminder. It is time to plan for family photos. With fall being the prime time and most popular season for family pictures, we are hooking you up all week with a family photo guide. We'll help you cover all the details. And topic number one is how to shop for a photographer and how to communicate to get the photos that you want. Photographer Kayla Trujillo says we're missing one big piece of information that needs to be established between client and pro. What's that missing piece, Kayla?
I think just knowing what you want and knowing how to communicate that to your photographer to make sure that it's going to be a good fit and so that you get the kind of images you're wanting.
We've got to talk photo. We've got to talk photographer.
Yes, you kind of know the styles and know the lingo and know what you're needing.
Do you find that's a challenge for people to not just know what they want, but articulate
Yeah,
what they
I think
want?
that's what it is. And I think expecting that every photographer is going to deliver every single style. So I think if clients know what the style is they want, they can find the photographer that best matches that instead of everyone doing everything.
Well, I was going to ask, you brought a couple different examples of photography. Can every photographer do this style?
No, I feel like most people are niched. And so like we'll talk about a couple different editing styles and posing styles. And I think you kind of want to find the photographer that matches that specific niche that you're wanting.
Okay, let's start with some posing and composing styles. Popular options include the real moments.
Yes. Yeah, so for posing, we're talking like there's kind of a lingo called like lifestyle photography and then pose photography. So lifestyle photography is going to be a lot more like not looking at the camera. So a lot more laughing pictures, maybe tickling baby. You're going to be playing a lot more games. And so I think that this is a really good style if you have young kids because you're not going to be able to get all 5 kids looking at the camera smiling for an hour.
Thank you. It takes the expectation out of 100%. The experience.
Yes. And honestly, I think lifestyle makes it more of an experience more than just sitting there posed for a picture.
We really do. And this isn't just a mom talking who booked the session, but we really do have great family memories of photo sessions.
That is like what you want. That makes me so happy to hear.
But this type of photo style, I think, sets the scene for that, allows that to happen a little more easily.
Yep, totally. And it's, like I said, it's perfect for little kids because you're just going to play games and you're going to be moving constantly and it'll keep them more happy.
I feel like you love this style.
I love this. This is like the way I shoot, and so I love it.
How do you get the frame-worthy shots, though, while people are in motion and being their natural selves?
So I think that that's good. You need to make sure that you have a good photographer. But the way that I start it is I'll have everyone smile at the camera when the kids are right out of the car, still happy, and then we transition into the games. And so it's a lot more smooth. But if you get those like money shots that you're going to frame on the wall first, then you can play the games, and you can still get incredible shots. Like all of the pictures on my like walls are not looking at the camera, but that's just what I love. You can still get that, but try and get the money shots first.
Okay, if we want something more traditional, more of that perfectly posed photo,
which is like
communicate that.
Yes, communicate that and make sure that you find a photographer that matches that style. So you want to look at like their Instagram feed or their portfolio and make sure that you're seeing a lot of those like square to the camera, everyone smiling, looking at the picture or looking at the camera.
And can all photographers get this look?
I think that this is a more traditional look. So I think a lot of people are comfortable with this look. But again, you just want to make sure that if you have like smaller kids, that they're showing that so that you know the expectation that they can do that.
Do you think this will stay current longer? Like, will this be more timeless than maybe the in-motion candid shots?
You know what? That's a good question. I think that they're both timeless. I think this is definitely more the traditional style.
Yeah.
But I think the lifestyle is more realistic for families. And so I think that they're not in style or out of style. It's just what stage of life are you in.
The third photo vibe, life in action.
Yes. Okay. So just kind of moving and playing and I don't really know. And that's it.
Yeah, just kind of everything is almost a blur, like right in front of your eyes.
Oh, yeah. So more movement. Yes. Okay. Yes. So you're going to be like having like blur and motion blur in the images. And so this is something that if you like, you can communicate this with your photographer. Most photographers can do this. They won't normally do it in their flow, but if you tell them that you like the blur, they can do a few shots
How are you doing this as a photographer?
So you're just having the shutter really like open, and so it's open longer, and so you can capture that motion. And so like this little girl was just dancing and I loved it and I wanted to kind of get the blur on her. And so yeah, I just left my shutter open and got that.
I haven't seen a lot of this, but I love it. There's kind of an artistic flair to it.
It's a lot more like editorial is what we would call it, but this is super in style right now. Like this is really trendy. So a lot of engagement sessions have this kind of motion. A lot of just like portraits have this kind of motion. It's really fun.
Interesting. Okay, your last style or vibe kind of embraces negative space. We're calling this love the landscape.
Okay, yes, which I love this look. So this is where you're gonna have your subject or like the family be really small, and then you're gonna have a lot of open space. And I love doing this particular look when you have a beautiful backdrop. So like in Utah where we have like the sand dunes or some arches or something where it's just really magnificent, like have the subject be really small and get that negative space. And again, this is something you can communicate with your photographer, and they should be able to do no
You
problem.
want a lot of backdrop,
Yes.
which I'd rather this than even a landscape painting.
Oh,
So
totally,
if there's a
yes.
space in your home that I feel like you may be thinking, should I do a landscape painting? And this family photo might check that box.
Totally, yes, because it's got the landscape, but then you're in
Right.
it as well, so it's a little more special.
Once the photos are taken, photographers can do a lot with editing.
Yes.
Is that something you like to talk to clients about after a session, what type of look they want?
Okay, so this is where I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say you're booking an editor or a photographer based on their editing style. So you wanna look through their feed, you wanna look through their portfolio and make sure you like the colors, because photographers edit so different, and that's kind of like their secret sauce, right?
It's their artistic stamp.
Exactly, yeah. And so I think in photographer world, like if you are asking for a different editing style, it's almost like you didn't look at my work and you didn't know what you were booking, if that makes sense.
No, I appreciate the upfront, candid answer.
I think that you'll be a lot happier if you just find someone to match the style you're
Sure.
wanting from the get-go.
Yeah, a couple styles to consider. There's a moodier style.
Yes. Okay. So again, this is really trendy right now. So moody style is going to be a lot more brown tones, a lot more orange tones. You're kind of desaturating some of the bright colors and getting just like more warm, earthy tones. And so this is like a really specific style. You can search for this like on Google or on Instagram. If you're searching hashtags, you should be able to find photographers that match this style.
True to color is your next editing style.
Yeah. So true to color, this is kind of my style, and I would say that this is shooting more just based on what the coloring looked like. So it's going to be a lot more exposed the way it was, and then the colors again, just the way it was, not necessarily enhancing anything or desaturating anything.
And finally, light and airy.
Yes, so light and airy is so pretty. You'll see this a lot in like more wedding photography, but this is gonna be kind of really bright, like almost overexposed and just lighter colors, but it gives it a really soft, almost like filmy look, and it's really pretty, it's really
So
classic.
as you're evaluating those, again, look at the photographer's work, look at their
Totally.
individual style, but side by side, you can see there's a vast difference in what you can accomplish with just the edit.
Totally, yep, 100%. Like you can have the same picture and it can look totally different just based on the edit. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you like the photographer's editing, because you can get a totally different image at the end.
Kayla, great advice.
Okay,
I love that
good,
you shot
good.
straight with us today. That will
Yes.
help in,
Okay,
in
good.
step one of fall family photos, booking that photographer and communicating that style. We have to give Kayla big props because
Oh
you
my
took
gosh.
all of the photos
Thank
for
you.
our
You're
season
so
18
nice.
premiere. She was here behind the scenes, working her gift as she does, capturing so many fun details.
It was
And hopefully
so
the vibe
fun.
inspired you.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
It was
And
a party.
It was a party, and it was just so fun to meet people, and it was awesome. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you weren't able to join us in studio, all of these behind the scenes moments that Kayla so beautifully captured are on our Facebook page, so you can check them out there, and we absolutely loved having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You are booking for fall and probably
it's
filling
crazy.
up really fast.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's awesome. But yeah, fall, if you want fall pictures, you definitely need to start booking quick.
How do we reach you?
So you can find me on Instagram. It's just kayla.trulyphotography.
Okay, we'll link you from our
Thank you.
website. Great job. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.